Hello, and welcome to another hilarious episode of Delicious Recipes Culinary Disasters. Today, we're diving into a fruity fiasco with 3 dessert recipes that have a combined total of over 2.7 million views. Let's just say, if you like fruit and milk, you're in for a wild ride. Recipe number 1, the Tangerine Tango. So buckle up and get ready to witness the making of a dessert that'll have you question everything you know about cooking. Let's call it the milk and fruit mishap. Ah, New Year's, a time for fresh beginnings and culinary crimes. Our dear chef starts by cleaning tangerines, kiwi, persimmon, and grapefruit, all while asking if we love these fruits. Well, we may love them, but we're not so sure about what's about to happen to them. Love means never having to say you're sorry, unless you're cooking, apparently. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you're a fan of watching fruits being mistreated. Now, on to the apples and bananas. With a mold of 1.5 liters, our chef is clearly planning to feed an army of unsuspecting victims, guests. The showstopper comes in the form of 8 grams of agar-agar mixed with 50 milliliter of water. A brave choice, considering the trauma we've all experienced from their previous agar-agar adventures. We're not sure if they're trying to create a dessert or a science experiment gone wrong. Next up, we have 350 milliliter of milk, 200 grams of condensed milk, and a brief 1-2 minute cook time. The jury's still out on whether that's enough time to repent for this culinary sin. To further complicate things, our chef adds 200 grams of sour cream or yogurt, because why have 1 dairy product when you can have 3? The unsuspecting fruits are then thrown into this concoction, and our chef urges us to do everything quickly since agar-agar hardens faster than their reputation. If you're a fan of this soon-to-be disaster, don't forget to share the video on social networks, because misery loves company. Finally, the dessert is refrigerated until completely cool, much like the reception it'll receive from guests. As a testament to its quality, the milk and fruit mishap does hold its shape well, which is more than we can say for our faith in delicious recipes. Oh, how delicious. Well, that's certainly up for debate. Top chefs around the world are left puzzled, wondering how this fruit massacre became a popular dessert. Recipe number 2, the fruit salad fumble. This recipe starts with a heartwarming request for us to share our love of fruit desserts in the comments. Little did we know we'd be witnessing a crime scene against fruitkind. Our daring culinary adventurer begins with a fruit selection that would make a fruit salad weep: bananas, apples, kiwis, and raspberries, only to drown them in a gelatinous milk bath. As they chop away, we can't help but wonder if they've ever heard of complementary flavors. The chef then asks for our opinions on fruit desserts in the comments, a clear cry for validation. Remember, folks, don't encourage such reckless fruit mixing. They generously suggest using different fruits and berries, as if we hadn't already considered running for the hills. A top chef once told me, "When life gives you lemons, sprinkle the juice on your bananas and apples so they don't darken." Sage advice for a dish that's already gone awry. Then, in a bizarre twist, our chef introduces 60 grams of gelatin, not realizing the package said agar-agar. They pour 100 milliliter of cold water over the gelatin, leaving it to bloom for 10 minutes, like a forgotten science experiment in the back of the fridge. To add to the chaos, our intrepid cook heats up 900 milliliter of milk, completely ignoring the fact that no one asked for dairy in their fruit fiesta. The gelatin is melted in a water bath or microwave, and the plot thickens, literally. Next, our protagonist throws caution to the wind and adds 2 tablespoons of sugar and 5 grams of vanilla sugar, presumably to mask the taste of impending doom. They pour the gelatin mixture into the milk, stirring until it's completely dissolved, like their culinary dreams. The fruits are laid out like sacrificial offerings, and then, in a move that defies all logic, they're decorated with 4-5 biscuits. The milk mixture is poured over everything, and the dish is banished to the fridge for 2-3 hours. While we await the dessert's return, our chef fries some chopped almonds, as if they still believe this dish can be saved. The final touch. A garnish of caramel and almonds, a valiant attempt to distract from the disaster at hand. With a plea for subscriptions, likes, and comments, our fearless chef invites us to share in their delusion that this is a recipe worth recreating. We can't help but chuckle as we imagine the emoji-filled comments that are sure to follow. Remember, just because you can mix milk and fruit doesn't mean you should. Recipe number 3. The Fruit Cake Fiasco. Recipe that claims to be a healthy dessert without gelatin and bake in 5 minutes. Let's see how this milk and fruit fiasco unfolds. This recipe begins innocently enough. Our fearless chef begins with 3 cups of water, 1 cup sugar, and 20-gram agar-agar. They mix it together and leave it for 15-20 minutes, which, might I add, already exceeds their 5-minute cooking claim. But hey, who's counting? Next, our daring cook asks, "Do you like different fruits?" As if expecting a unanimous response. They then proceed to peel and cut an unspecified amount of fruit, all while begging for subscriptions, likes, and comments. However, as the fruit is ruthlessly peeled and chopped, it becomes clear that this is no ordinary dessert. As the fruit massacre continues, the chef brings the syrup with agar to a boil, signaling the beginning of the fruit funeral. The assembly of this Franken dessert involves layering syrup, fruit in a pattern, because aesthetics matter when creating culinary catastrophes, and more syrup. The mold is then banished to a cool place for 10 minutes, as if time will heal the wounds inflicted upon these once noble fruits. But wait, there's more. A strawberry smoothie enters the scene like a desperate attempt to salvage this sinking ship of a dessert. With 1/2 cup water, 1 cup strawberry puree, 1.5 tablespoons of sugar, and 10-gram agar, our chef whips up a concoction that they then bring to a boil. The strawberry jelly is poured over the frozen layer, and once again, the dessert is exiled to a cool place for 10-15 minutes. Because consistency is key when playing God with fruit and milk. Finally, the moment of truth arrives. The finished jelly is inverted onto a serving plate, and our chef exclaims, "Oh, how fresh and delicious!" Though one can't help but wonder if they're trying to convince themselves or their audience. In conclusion, while these dessert recipes may be popular, it's clear that they're anything but conventional. Top chefs around the globe are urging you to stick to tried-and-true recipes that treat fruit with the respect it deserves. Thank you for joining us on this humorous journey through delicious recipes' fruity nightmares. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment with your favorite fruit-related joke. Goodbye.